right there. So, we're going to talk about matching dates, matching marriages, who is the right woman to court, how to avoid uh, argumentative women, how to avoid time wasting women, how to abort um, relationships that will eventually come back to haunt you. Let's get into it, right? The woman you want to court is a woman who doesn't see color. You're in America, right? So there's a beauty standard. So if there's a beauty standard, using logic, right? You don't want to court a woman who doesn't fit this. You know what I mean? Who doesn't fit this. They don't fit this, you don't want them. This also goes for other males who may be different pronouns, different persuasion. This also works for those who are homosexual or those who are heterosexual, lesbian as well. This works for everybody because ultimately you want to make sure that everybody is taken care of, right? The thing that I see is that, when you're choosing the right mate, right? You're choosing the right mate. You're choosing a woman who you want to spend the rest of your life with. You don't want to have to get back on the dating market and see that, why am I doing this all over again, Because a lot of the times, the woman who you're looking for, she isn't next door to you. She just isn't. The woman that you're probably looking for is of a different culture. She has her own culture. Two-headed household, right? You want a woman, you want a man who comes from a two-headed household. Me personally, I was kind of here, I was kind of there. I had to raise myself to a certain degree. Once I hit 21, I felt that I saw the world in a picture that a lot of people didn't see it. So I was already an adult by then. Choosing the right match, right? Choosing the right match. A woman who you look at is Mandingo is a woman who's going to fight with you consistently. She's going to be there for you when you need her. She's going to be there for you at any time of the day that, it calls for things to get done. She's a very serious person, so you can't waste her time. She needs affectionate behavior from you. She needs affectionateness, she be infatuated. She needs that from you. And you can express this just by being how can I say this? In martial artists, you know what I mean? You can be someone who gets things done in a manner where it fits the scope in which you're trying to get done, right? So you may be a white belt, you may be a blue belt, you may be a black belt, you may be a purple belt, She understands that, right? So she's went through those phases where she knows men who can protect her. She knows men who can sort of create a foundation as a home, as a village. Those are your goals. That's your inspiration. You speak mantras into her, right? You're not a loud talker. You know what I mean? You're not a loud talker. You're someone who is not flamboyant. You're just someone who is caring, and she knows this, right? She's met your parents. She saw the pictures of you when you were a child, when you were with your mother or when you were with your father. She saw these pictures, right? So she knows that you're just not someone who is just kind of contemptuous, you know? You're not someone who is going to be a surprise to her. You know what I mean? So that's a woman you may want. You know, if you're one who goes along that route of being disciplined, right? That's, you want a Mandingo woman. If you're someone who is very spacious, you know, maybe you like to be eventful, you want to be everywhere at once. Maybe you need a Habesha. Maybe you need an Amhara. Maybe you need an Omatic. You know, maybe you need those type of women, or maybe you need those type of men. Fine, right? Fine. They come in all classes, right? You have black women who are like that. You have Oriental women who are like that. You have African women who are like that. You have Eurasian women who are like that. It fits that profile. You know what I mean? So you have a woman who is staring, and you have a woman who is extremely compassionate. You know, so men, you know, if you are someone who is staring, you want a woman who is compassionate. Men, for those who are, you know, driven by success, right? Driven by patterns of defeat, patterns of life, you know, like lessons. You're someone who studies history. You're going to want a woman who is staring, you know, a Mandingo woman. That's what you want, right? This is why it's always advocated, right? Once you get of age, you know, the last rites of passage is to go to Africa. That's your last rites of passage. Do you understand that? Like, that's your last rites of passage. If you haven't gone to Africa, or if you haven't sought out Africa, you haven't done things that would say, I'm headed to that direction. If you haven't done that, then the relationships, it's not going to fit the scheme of the global system. It's just not going to fit it, right? You're going to always be searching for something that you feel like you're missing. You know what I mean? A flower grows everywhere. So you can't say those are not my people, or, you know what I mean? Like, that's very talking point-ish. You know what I mean? That's talking point-ish. It means you heard that from somewhere and you just recited it. So choose the right mate. You know, and for men out there who are into other things, you know what I mean? Like, maybe you want to do polygamous relationships. Maybe you want to be polyandrous. Maybe you want to be monogamous. Maybe you want to be homogenous with your woman. You know, do some things that would kind of like get you to figuring things out, like where you're thinking. You know what I mean? Like, you're thinking now. So do those things, you know? So, you know, the right woman is out there and the right man is out there. It's for everyone, right? You know, compatibility. You woke up in the morning and you open your mouth, that's compatibility. Someone wants to hear what you have to say. Someone wants to be experiencing the things that you're saying. Someone wants to go through life with you and pattern the success that you were looking for. They want to see that in both of you, and they want to experience that with you and her and togetherness. They want to do that. So it's possible, right? It's possible. So, you know, continue to spread love, continue to take things to a point where it's complete, whether it be fickle, whether it be seriousness, whether it be awkward, whether it be weird. Take it to a point where it's complete. You know what I mean? So, great peace, Yakoki.